Few backroad weapons are this invisible. Weight, that's everything. It determines the car's behavior every second you're driving. And the more of it you have, the more technically demanding solutions your machine needs to achieve the same result. You're looking at it in the corners. One of the fastest cars we've ever had here. And it's no joke. You just need the road to be going downhill the whole way, ideally. We are Automotive.
2, 1, go! Cleon Fonte. Hey, Cleon Fonte. Hey, we've probably never filmed a cheaper car, have we? What? Now, so jumper cables and everything. Here we go. Do you know what Cleon Fonte was? Cleon Fonte was the very first OHC engine with 55 horsepower that the Twingo had since its launch in 1992. 92 October, Paris. Since 86, they had been developing the concept for this car, coming up with the design. It was supposed to be a small, boxy car mainly for the people of France, which would now be motorized in a modern way for the upcoming Jubilee as the year 2000 was approaching soon. That era, especially the 90s, was obsessed with it. And in the end, they were bolder than bold. And this car got the design of a wide-eyed frog that's smiling. At least that's what the front headlights are supposed to resemble. Hey, I'm done. And honestly, a long time ago, I helped sell this car to our dear neighbor lady for about 8,000 crowns. I think I even did a POV video with it for the Automotive channel. Back then, I only had one GoPro and all that. I haven't gotten any richer in film equipment since then. And I didn't really know what it was, or how good it actually was. I just took it for a spin and thought, hey, this is just fun. Even back then, you could tell that you were having a good time behind the wheel. Friends, the first generation Renault Twingo on the Automotive channel. I'm excited that it's finally here, and I'll tell you a little piece of breaking news. We picked up this car. The bearing was roaring because the car sat on the lot for a long time. So we didn't waste any time. We didn't want to bother anyone from the dealership. We just made a deal with a friend to fix it for us. We gave him like 1,500, said, see ya, done, problem solved. And Mate was driving that little car. Wait, a motorcycle. Okay, it's gone. It's faster than us. And he got so into it that the second week we had the Twingo, he went and bought his own, also for about 20,000. By the way, this car is for sale for 29,000 crowns, which is, well, that's a different matter. But if you wanted it for a better price, then 24,000 crowns is the finance price. Yeah, and you can, payments on that loan can start at 73 crowns a month. I'm sorry, it's not aimed at anyone. Don't take it the wrong way. Like someone who doesn't have the money right now. But those are, by car standards, such unbelievably tiny, almost adorable amounts of money. Even the bearings, even this, I just have to laugh, and I actually really enjoy it. Because I'm sitting in a car that costs about as much as a single rear tire for one of my cars. Yeah, a rear tire. And yet I'm having a royally good time. I'm driving 73 km/h. I have steering with amazing feedback. What's there? No power steering, of course. And I'm driving a car that has such huge side windows, the windshield too. So in the end, it means that I feel like I'm basically naked. I'm outside. Everyone can almost see me down to my waist. And that speed of 70 km/h when you're just chilling with your arm out like this, because today it's 36 degrees in the shade. Besides, let's be honest, one more thing from this angle. Since the windows are so huge, the air flows really well in the car when you have them rolled down. Is not a draft through a little crack that would make noise. The whole cabin literally airs out in real time. It doesn't bother your ears at all. It's very comfortable at 70 kilometers an hour. We can go 90 kilometers an hour. I'll speed up. Here we go. I'm already doing 90 kilometers an hour because it's a steep downhill in 5th gear. And still, if someone wanted to talk quietly, they could do it just fine. It's totally fine. This is such a pleasant car. Sure, it has a really short seat cushion. It's a car that's tiny, but because the car company wanted to show at the time that it's not just about the exterior size. Come on, come on. A motorcycle just overtook us. It overtook us in our lane. I was right on the dividing line by the shoulder, and he still managed to fit in our lane. That's how small the Twingo is. Because they wanted to show that it's not just about the external dimensions. So the Twingo got a rear bench that slides 17 centimeters. That way, if you were carrying, for example, little kids in this car who didn't need much space in the back, you could slide the rear bench forward, and you had a huge trunk, huge for a car of this type. Or you could remove the headrests from the front seats in any Twingo, and you could make a bed setup that's 2 meters long. I would honestly be curious how many people were conceived earlier than planned. Much earlier than planned, just because someone at Renault came up with the idea that you could just lie down in a Twingo. That's just the best. That's just the best. Do you know what's the funniest part about all this? That even though it's like this, we can call it a cheap beater, which unfortunately rusts nowadays. That's just how it is. These cars usually rust around the front sills and wheel arches. Yes, our car wasn't spared from that either. That's the reality after 25 or 30 years, mostly in housing estates or other public places where the sun beats down and the elements keep wearing the car out. But otherwise nothing. And to get to the heart of the matter, for such a tiny little thing, this car is incredibly fun to drive. It has wheels at the corners of the body. It's perfectly balanced. It weighs 850 kilos. And always a 1.2 engine, except for the very first one, Cleon Fonte, right? That's the name of the very first one with an OHC valve train. It's not sluggish at all. The remaining engines are called D4F and D7F. D4F is the more powerful one with 16 valve technology, which has 75 horsepower and over 100 Nm of torque. With such an engine, the Twingo was actually pretty fast for its time. It really wasn't a small and slow car at all. And the weaker one, the 8 valve, which we have here, has about 58 horsepower. It's rounded to 60, and it's called D7F. Every time the car is a joy to drive. It drives pleasantly, it corners nicely, and that's also the reason why now, with my Twingo, we're going to enjoy ourselves on our special stage, the same place where we film 800 to 900 horsepower cars. And now I'm going there with 60 horsepower with Mattia on board too. But that's exactly the point. It's much more fun to drive a car that maybe isn't even that fast, but to really push it. Because honestly, in those places today, I'll tell you straight, there aren't any guys standing there with radios. In those places where the speed limit is 90 km/h uphill, I'll be struggling to reach 76. I'll be driving in my own lane completely satisfied, and that'll be more than enough for me. And I'll be having fun. It's really not like that around here, no. By the way, an interesting thing as I'm watching here in the speed check zone, right? Greetings. Here in northern Bohemia, right, they're collecting protection money in case someone forgets. So I'm watching how fast I'm going and I'm checking it on the digital display. I don't know if you missed it or not, but the Twingo, for a car introduced in '92 back then, it really wasn't common. They just occasionally tried to make something futuristic, so they put it in cars like that, sure. But otherwise everything was mechanical with needles, so here you have a digital display. There's no tachometer, no temperature gauges, but because all the mechanics of this car are absolutely reliable, these are just those honest, naturally aspirated French engines that you just can't kill. As long as they have oil, it doesn't matter that you can't see the temperature because this thing doesn't overheat. It was made to standards where the car was simply meant to last forever. And after 30 years, it's still proving it to us. I'm curious if a modern city car you can buy today for say 450,000, any of them will last like this in 30 years. And I bet my shoes that if someone repairs the rust on this Twingo, it'll still be just as good in another 30 years.
When the guys from CB send you smileys with the text, "Now this one's is going to be a real beast," while checking the car, you know things are getting serious. I absolutely agree. There are a total of 14,087 of them driving around here. The first generation is clearly in the lead with 10,950 units. and from imports, 6,962 first-generation units, so that's a total of 64. The tested specification is clearly the most widespread. 7,283 cars, and the rarest are those rockets with an output of 55 kilobytes. There are 1,119 of those driving around here. The history of our car? Since it was new in the Czech Republic, in 2008 there was a major insurance claim for 54,000 CZK.
A 5-speed automatic was available, but be careful, it wasn't truly automatic. It stayed a manual transmission, just without a clutch pedal, and the clutch pedal, or rather its operation, was handled by an automated clutch system. Would I want a car like that? Not a chance, because that automated system was tuned back when the Twingo was developed, of course, and that means it shifts incredibly slowly and sluggishly. But if you get a Twingo with a 5-speed manual, which by the way never breaks down, if you really get into it properly and shift, rev it up, then the car just... It's not fast, not at all. But it can easily keep up with today's traffic. And if you really need to, you can even overtake. That's how it is. Do you know what's funny? This car wasn't produced only in Europe from 1992 to 2007, but it actually continued in Colombia for the South American market all the way until 2012. The very last edition was the tattoo edition, with emblems tattooed on the car, so to speak. It was a really funny, colorful car, and a total of 2.6 million, 2,600,000 units of the first generation Twingo were produced. Which means that today you can get anything, anywhere, anytime, and even after 30 years, it's still not a problem to keep a Twingo running exactly as it should be. And Mate has prepared a list for you of all the possible additions and variants they made. I'll just mention, of course, that the fabric roof is also an inseparable part of the Twingo. Mate's car has it too. He's also planning to show you some details with his beloved Twingo. Both cars are red, which is funny. Each one is a little different. And now for the additions. Come on. I don't know if those people heard you. Benetton, Tintin, Perrier, Grease, CDL, Paris, Emotion, Kiss School, Yahoo, and they'll hear many more. Twingo was always special because you could just come in and order a Twingo, a few extra things, but nobody asked you which version you wanted or what exactly. It was either this or that on offer or nothing, and a few extra options for an additional charge. Or you could get a green interior if you want. Or maybe purple or pink or whatever you wanted. There were no limits to imagination back then. Hey, and we're already going uphill. And here we go. I expected we'd go slower. We're going 85 km/h. Mind you, we've got winter tires. I had to lift off to make it turn. But in the section where we can go 90 km/h, and I'm just genuinely having a blast, you have no idea. That thing doesn't brake very well. When there are two of us, you can really feel it, because of course the weight has increased a lot percentage-wise, and the balance of the car has changed too. I'm really having fun. Now we'll go through Snetchi and take the switchbacks. And normally there's really nothing threatening you behind the wheel. No one is going to scold you for driving too fast. You don't have to worry about anything, and actually you're having fun at speeds that are completely legal. That's just what I like the most. Maybe I'm getting old or something, I don't know, but actually I think that if someone close to me or one of my friends wanted to learn how to drive, I would definitely go for the Twingo and pick it, because the Felicia is already a bit too archaic, let's be honest. And the Twingo, with the way it handles, the way it's balanced, is a much more modern car, and at the same time it's even a bit lighter, which means that any trouble can be handled and there's plenty of time for it. This car is light as a feather, yeah. But you mustn't have it in third gear when you're coming out of a corner at 40, then nothing happens at all. If someone wants to drive more briskly, then of course the 16 valve, that's the one. But I think that not liking this car, if you like cars, is practically impossible. It's just like with Alfa Romeo, really. There's just something about it, something incredible in this car, and here we go. Tavichka 6993, 373.77, look. Brake into the corner. And what's also funny is that the lane, which is usually just wide enough for those modern super sports cars, I could fit this Twingo 2.5 times side by side in it. So I have a ton of room to maneuver in the line I take. I'm going 63, but be careful. Regular traffic won't go this fast here because these are really big turns and it's a steep hill. Usually when you catch up to someone here, they're going 50. That Twingo really isn't as slow as regular traffic. But you're just having fun, you know. Steering without power assist. Very precise shifting, nice feedback in the pedals, actually pretty good brakes, yeah. A lot of understeer, but unfortunately that's because of our tires. And so on and so on. Friends, thank you so much for watching. This is the first generation Twingo. I won't torture it any longer. Of course, it's an old car too. But we're going to film some more amazing sunsets for you because even though this is a small car, it has a huge soul in every way. Please support us here, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video. It's great. It's been a long time since I took this long to get up this hill. Let's go, come on. But it's actually fun. You really have time to enjoy it. Honestly, it's really great. Like Blinker. I tell everyone to push on the steering wheel, but without power steering, you must really grip it here. And we're going again, 46, 51, 56, 60. Look, and now it's slippery, that's enough. And we're reaching for the steering wheel. That's moving at about half our speed. Ooh, the seats don't hold you in place. It's a real cult classic with everything that comes with it. All right, see ya, bye.